Okay, off for a walk now. It's like, I think it's after 4. Oh, it's well after 4. It's 5:21. Yeah, anyway, I am still going to go camera pointed out, but they're making kind of cute. I got this skirt secondhand from the outfit down the road. I would love a full length mirror. But and then these new sneakers which they're on sale and they break kind of immediately, so I've got sometimes which aren't that comfortable. But yeah, I've got this skirt with pockets. It's probably genuinely 80s and it's slightly too big, but I'm gaining a bit of weight. And one of my favourite t-shirts, which I had put to pyjama use because it got stains in the armpits, I think from when I put some stain remover on or something. It's not actually that ironic, it happens all the time. Just these two guys kayaking and they're saying they can't fire us if they can't find us. And then I got this pretty, kind of, I'm doing such a fucking good job. I got this pretty sort of, oh for fuck's sake, yeah, anyway, whatever. Undies, hospital undies, because I'm waiting for everything. I've hand washed everything else. I'm not going to use the I'm not going to use the laundry here anymore. I don't want to interact with Julia or and I've got this huge fucking mess everywhere. Anyway, I will walk and talk, and I hope to make a few revelations on this walk because that's the purpose for this walk. And I will go a slightly different way this time. I'll branch out and go to God, so often I want to say Tavistock Street, which is really weird because it's in the border of the Tyne, Royal Bay and Wellington. We've got Ranfurly Street down now, but it was the street that I always used to go to walk, just a little walk from my place in Springfield Road. Yeah, so I like that structure, that looks really good. So I'm not going to recount everything that happened today, but I have to recount a little bit because I need to talk it through with myself. Because I don't have anyone else to talk things through with, you see. And so actually I won't go that way because I'm going to get lost probably, and I think there's a really ugly, oh no, I am going to go that way, I'm just going to do it. It's the city over there, Fort Hills. Yeah. Yeah, so liar. I was going to say liar is a Robin. Robin is just such a fucking liar, and so I recorded the 2 parts of the conversation I had with Cara Walter. Now, it turns out that Siobhan, I was wondering, is Siobhan now in a team under Cara Walter, who's the, I think she's like an operations manager rather than a branch manager, but I'm not quite sure. But I was saying maybe she's a branch manager or something, but because she's at Linwood, and to be based in Linwood, you imagine that you're, you know, rather than a head office or something, it is a service centre. So I wonder if she's sort of on the same level as Danielle, but I don't know. Whatever it is, I have a feeling it's quite possible that Shemila Grant answers to her. Have had a bit of a look at integrated services, and it's actually a lot of things are called that, even in government. And there's papers from back in 2014 about different things, and something in Parliament. And no, it wasn't that it was a bill or anything. It was just, yeah, there's all that kinds of weird stuff going on. So I'm not sure what the legislation falls under. What legislation it falls under. And to be honest, I'm not going to put myself out too much. I can just see from the job description that I've got rights, because if the job description involves responsibilities to the client, and that's me, that means that I have rights. I have corresponding rights, and I do have obligations, but the obligations are not one size fits all, and that's the entire fucking purpose of the role. So Robin is either incompetent and is trying to cover up her incompetence, which is a really nasty thing to do. I mean, it's in a way it bothers me more than just being nasty for its own sake, because it means that she knows that she's harming me. It means that she not, you know, if she had the, if in a twisted sort of form of conscience she realises she's done the wrong thing enough to realise that she needs to cover her tracks, it means that she has, I mean, her actions are deliberate rather, you know, there's a difference between a mistake and an error. I think a mistake is something like falling over, whereas an error is like pushing someone over because you think they've stolen someone's purse or something. Like, you've done it deliberately, but because you were working with wrong premises. I think a mistake is, I think that's how it works. So I think she's made an error. Like, what I mean is, it's possible that she's made an error, and because she appears from, I don't know, but I'm just sort of making sort of little assumptions here and there. I get the feeling that she's been in the role for a while. And that she's sort of a trusted old hand. And so it's possible that she's been fucking her clients over and ruining us and probably causing some of the suicides that have been reported. And has realised that through my arguments with her, and has now covered her tracks by lying through her fucking ass, lying through her teeth, lying her ass off, lying through her ass. And it's not really, it's not something I'm going to spend a lot of time focusing on, but I need to focus on it a little way, because when you are dealing with a problem, you have to, there's a sort of it's not a saying, but it's a common recommendation to, if you're learning a topic, read around the topic. And there are complaints these days, a lot of academics know only their area and nothing else, so they can't link into other areas of research, to form a sort of a working group. Like, you need to learn around the topic a little bit. So I need to learn a little bit around Robin's antisocial behaviour, just enough to really back myself up in my own beliefs, and also to really push or challenge my own beliefs. But at this point I've already established that she's a snake. I just don't know at which point she began her snaky behaviour. Was it from the beginning, or was it when the penny dropped and she realised that she was not doing her job? And I don't need to go deeply into that. That's not my new field of research. My field of research is really how to get people to just give me my rights and just leave me the fuck alone, because MSD are doing me as much, they're starting down the same road that Homeward started down, and it's not following the same pattern, of abuse, but it's following the same ramping up of intensity where it started. And it's like I'm not safe or secure at home, and I'm spending all my time fighting off attacks on my security and my rights, and my slurs against my character and discrimination and all this, basically everything they can throw at me. So it's a very similar experience. And in this case it wouldn't be able to go on that long, because home would have to try to try every trick in the book to unlawfully dislodge me. But at the same time, they kept me in torment the whole time. But the thing is, with MSD, it's going to be a lot easier to get rid of me. They just say I'm not meeting my obligations and they kick me out, and they just get basically the owner on site, they just don't renew the contract, right? So then he won't let me stay. So it's actually reasonably simple. Eversley Street, that's it. Tavistock. I haven't been here for ages. It's only because I haven't been around here for a long time, and I'm still a bit leery of the street. I wonder if Mitchell's still there. I'll be able to tell, see if I can link into his internet, I suppose. Oh, nice pink. I'm going to go over and take a pink house. I love that new pink tinted wood they use, it's beautiful. I'm going to stop this in a minute just to take some pink photos. And then cross over because I don't want to waste the walk. Yeah, so I basically refused to talk to Robin this morning, and she still rang me, and I just ignored it. And then I got a message, like a, not an automated message, but messaging system message. Oh, the pink's gone. I needed to get it behind the sun. But not too behind the sun. It was perfect, actually. Those are the dogs. That's one of the dogs that fucking freaked me out when I went in to deliver mail that had come out of, that was being ripped out of letterboxes in Christmas when I was here for Christmas. I was so phoning, oh my god. It's a little grey one. No, I don't think it's either of those. Maybe they've got more dogs. The other one was not a barker. Very quiet. And I think there was a growl, but he wasn't a barker, not a yapper. I'll just go over here. So I instead had a total of about an hour's conversation with Cara Walter. Yeah, so Siobhan is now her colleague, so they co-manage, and that cleared up a few questions. And Siobhan's a snake as well, so I found out Siobhan is a snake. And so from what I understand, I'm not going to go into all because obviously it's on record, but I'll just say a little bit about things. So it turns out, I think, by what Cara was saying, was that I love this garden. It's beautiful sort of stream water feature. It's a bit dry at the moment. There's that pink. That it sounds like it was Cara who escalated me, my unruliness to Angela, what's her name, the regional director, because like every other person of average intelligence, and she's certainly that at maximum, I'd say, she told me what she believes. She says, well, you've copied me into all the emails you've sent to Robin, and you know those emails were unacceptable or whatever. And I'm like, what do you mean I've copied you into all emails to Robin? And she says, you've copied into 30 emails to her. And I said, what makes you believe those are all the emails I sent to her? And she did falter and go, oh, and then maybe realise, so I've received 100% of the emails that I've been copied into, but that is not the same thing as being copied into 100% of the emails Caitlin sent to Robin. I think the penny fucking dropped. And I said, by the time you were getting emails, and I said, bear in mind, I do not have a directory of any of your email addresses. I don't know why regional director lady seemed to think that I was just emailing people out of the blue randomly when I can't possibly guess at people's email addresses or who was even there. I can guess at email addresses, but they often end with 00 and a number, which with a great big organisation like MSD, you can't. You've got to make room for. You can't have those funny email addresses when it's like, shit, there's another Bob, how do we manage that? So like even Shamila Grant, and Shamila is a uncommon name, she's 004 I think, or 005, and Cara Walter. So yeah, there's no way I could guess at people's email addresses even if I knew who worked there. Everyone whom I've copied into has approached me, apart from open access directory emails such as the privacy and the info site, which is the complaints, which have completely ignored me. Gosh, that's lovely. And I was just like. Yeah, and I made statements about Robin that, Cara was really resisting or was saying other things and about it, and I was very insistent that Robin is a liar, that she is actively working against me. And she says, I was there with Robin yesterday when she was trying to ring you. And I said, okay. And she says, yeah, she was ringing you over and over again trying to get hold of you. And it's like, lady, I never fucking denied she was trying to ring me. Like, she doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She really doesn't. She's just one of those people who've got no fucking idea. Like, she's the worst type of manager ever. Has no idea. She doesn't even know what her level of work is, let alone the level beneath her, which is exactly what she's supposed to be doing. And she's not aware of any other sort of management. I don't even know what the structure is, but I think she might be above Shamila. I'm like, yeah, I'm sure that Robin was doing a great performance of ringing me in frustration, exasperation, and then complaining to you, and because Siobhan got in touch, and it makes sense now that I know that Siobhan is on the same level as Cara. And I said to Cara, because they both emailed me from that, texted me from that text, text message sort of program thing. It's a beautiful pink things outside, what at least was Mitchell's. I'm going to get some pictures of that. I'm not going on his property or anyone else's. And I said, yeah, no doubt she was doing this marvellous performance, but did you see the text messages that we were sending each other? admittedly, Cara, Robin sent me only one text, but it did show that her phone is text capable. It did not prove that she was getting my text in response, but I can't imagine that she wouldn't. And so she told Cara, who was sitting beside her, that, you know, she was demonstrating to Cara that I wouldn't pick up. And I said, Cara, you know what this thing is called, don't you? It's called lying by omission. And it's a very serious sort of lie, because it shows something that can be verified by the liee as true, and that would lead them to believe that there is nothing else to be known about the situation. And she did not, in fact, gracious me. It was so gorgeous. I'm gonna have some. No, I'm not. It's not gonna come on. Yes. So I said, did you see the text messages that I was sending her saying, can you just let me finish lunch? And I said, I did admit that I was wrong, and that it was my fault for not noting the time in the day, and I didn't realise it was an appointment. I thought that she was just calling out of the blue and asked her for 30 minutes notice. But even so, there's no reason for her to completely ignore me. And when I said, can you call me at, in half an hour, and I had to keep extending the half an hour, like a rolling half hour, because I'm not, as I said, I'm not preparing myself for another MSD runaround. So I said, look, just say yes to 4:30, and then we've got an agreement. Like, we don't have an agreement until you say yes. And then I got that message from Siobhan, and Siobhan was saying, let me know when's a good time to talk, and I said 5 minutes. And because I said I'd just got back from my walk, because remember I was hurrying to get back for Cara's call. And this is the marae. I've never stood on its legs before, but I've got to for this. Oh, goodness gracious. There are ducks in here, but their stream is pretty wide. Go, that's pretty much all completely dry. Yeah, so it's a troll one day. Yeah. Taniwha. So she went a bit quiet, or she blustered a wee bit, but I don't think that she was intending to deceive me at all. I think that she's just a very credulous person, and I think that she's got, what it reminds me of is people who sorry, people who, cats. It's cats that are just the most charming little darlings to people, but they're real bullies with other cats and whatever. It may be not fair to me to call it a bullying when you know, it's just cat culture, I suppose. Maybe there's been an unforgivable offence committed by another cat because their territories are different. If we see them on someone else's territory, it doesn't mean you're interloping at all. It could just be very unfortunate for the cat that lives there that its owner's territory is some other cat's territory. Gosh. Yeah. So I sort of feel that well, probably certainly Shamil, she's got a very sweet little voice. But what I meant was Robin. I expect that Robin was like the cat that's nice to humans. Oh God, like it was so hard. Like I had to be very mean to a cat that was, you know, beating up my cat. And my boyfriend was like all for grabbing it when it came in the house because it was doing that, and like holding it underwater, like not to drown it or even come close to anything like that, but to really make it associate our house with something very unpleasant. Because he was poor Jesse, man. I mean, it was his own place. And I met a guy the other day who lives not in their manor, whatever it's called, Springfield Manor or something, but I'm not into lavender, but look how beautiful all of this is in this light, and it's gone. It's not as pink as it looks in the picture actually, but I'm not worried about that. Look how freaking beautiful. Yeah, he's invited me to pop over any time. He says he often reads in the garden, and I think I'd like to do that, but there's a time and a place, and at the moment, like, I'm just so sick of getting unsolicited advice and opinions from people. There's Christos. Oh great. I wonder if that's where I got my wood from. I don't care if that's anything that gets me closer. Enable good lives, yes, it looks like there's a cure. Yeah. So yeah, so that is just so fucking sneaky of Robin. It's, you know, I mean, that is definitive, and you know, Cara at one point said, well, you know, that's your opinion, but I said, no, look, I've just told you I'm going to send you an email to prove to you what she's doing. She is actively, like, she is selectively reporting on information that's painting a completely different picture. And so when you selectively report on the truth, if you leave bits out, you are telling a lie, and it's a very, very big and very, very serious lie, because it's the same thing that happens when this is what's happening again, and as I explained in the context, when you leave out the justification, when you leave out what happened as a precursor to reactions of mine, you lose the opportunity to see the justification. And a really fucking good justification all by itself, without any fault on Robin's part at all, is that I've got PTSD. And that centres around housing insecurity. And so in that role, there's a lot of jobs where someone else's PTSD is not the service provider's problem, and not enough people know that. Like, just because you have a need, the fact you have a need does not imply a duty on somebody else. But in this case, it motherfucking does, because that's her whole entire fucking job, is to deliver services or link me to services in an appropriate manner and at an appropriate time. And it involves, explicitly the job involves listening and responding to the client's needs, and in some cases clients can't even really express their needs, and that's something that I was saying to Cara, that I've got cognitive disabilities, and as I've said so many times to people, as I literally said, those cognitive disabilities, they don't just politely step aside while I'm trying to explain them to somebody else. They are there all the time, dogging me wherever I go. And for someone who is charged, and you must have to pass some testing and do some training and stuff like that, it'll be fire risk. You have to make allowances for those communication difficulties, and for them to lay the law down and say that I can communicate only over the phone with the person abusing me is obviously, I was probably a bit hard on Angela Talbot, the regional director, I think, because she was clearly just told bullshit by Flora, who was probably quite innocently reporting on the bullshit that she thought was true. But that doesn't let them off the hook. It doesn't let them off the hook. It shows that they are not competent to do their jobs. It means they don't investigate a situation before they start attacking someone not only innocent but extraordinarily vulnerable. And when people are I'm intrinsically vulnerable under the categories I am under with MSD. You've got to be so fucking careful that even if I was misbehaving, you've got to see that in the context of the vulnerability that I have. Not many people need PTSD explained to them to the extent that they can. Not a lot of people know a lot about it, but pretty much every adult knows about PTSD. And they know one thing that's associated with PTSD, and that's triggers. And they know that people with PTSD do not do very well when they're being attacked. because they feel threatened even if they're not. In my case, I am being threatened. Yeah, in my case I am being threatened, it's real. But the thing is that it doesn't matter if I am or I aren't, and I'm not. It's you cannot be in that kind of role where you cannot manage your clients' triggers. You've got to know what they are. I have told, oh my god, I'm fixated on this. You have got to be so patient. That's part of the job. It's part of the job. You can't go and put someone in fucking wind jail because they're expressing their disability, even if it's a behavioural disability. And actually people with behavioural disabilities, well, they're not really behavioural, but they're, what are they? They're expressed disabilities. No, that's not right either. They are, I guess in a way you can call them behavioural, but ADHD is not a behavioural disability. Wow, that's wiggling. My phone is quite fast. That is wiggling. Man, I wish I could really capture the beauty of those really pale gold leaves at the top there. The whole thing, I just can't find an excuse for them anywhere. It's like, who is this person? Okay, she's on, as a regional director, would you not look a little bit into the background of the person? Okay, so she's under integrated services and she's in supported living accommodation. Okay, well, my phone glitching makes it look beautiful. You cannot simply put your boot on someone's neck when they're quite obviously in a particular category. It's like crocodiles are endangered. Or maybe it's alligators, or maybe it's both. They don't behave themselves very well. You can't just go and, I'm not saying that just because something's legislated it's right, but, we can make analogies about, there are lots of, you can't punish someone, whatever, I've gone on long enough, I've just become mesmerised by all the fluff. But the point is that Robin is a fucking lion's name, and I'm not. And I said to Cara is quite good in a way saying, look, we're gonna do you extensions in 2 weeks. What you're doing is enough. Because I did a big flurry. The looking for stuff on marketplaces. So I said, look, I've already said that big push that I did last night, that is not something that I can keep doing. That is a once in a blue moon sort of effort, right? That's not something I can keep going with, and I don't have any obligations. And she says, you do. And I said, look, Cara, it's in writing that I don't. And, you know, I actually did use Angela Talbot's words, as toxic as her email was, and I guess it wasn't deliberately toxic, so maybe that makes it not toxic, I don't know. Depends if toxicity is an intention, and I think it is actually an intention. So maybe it's not toxic after all, but I just said, look, going by Angela's email, you know, if I'm going to follow the rules, then I have to go by the last decision that was made. And I said the only decisions that have been made, despite my millions and millions and millions of requests for a freaking answer, is that I have no work obligations and I'm going to get a navigation service. And she wanted to know which kind of navigation service I had in mind. And I'm like, this is for MSD to sort out. And she said, and I said, look, I'm not dealing with Robin. Robin is clearly not working in my best interests. And Cara said, well, I think she and Shamila think she is. And I said, I want a different one. She says, well, that will have to go through Shamila. And I said, Shamila is part of the same problem. She's backing up the abuse and then upping the ante. And she says, well, because that was the email I was going to send to her. She said, you've got to send it to there has to go to Shamila. I said, no, a complaint about Shamila does not go to Shamila, it goes to you. I want you to see. And it's not that I was making a complaint, but I was wanting to show Cara that what Cara was telling me about these women is untrue. And in an email later I said that, you know, MSD, one of MSD's functions is to what do you call it, sort of compensate or whatever you can do for victims of abuse and care. It's like, why would it just start appointing different abusers in new roles? Like what you know, and that wasn't a live conversation that we had, so I can't, you know, she didn't have I didn't give her a chance to respond to that, and I kind of think that she won't, but she's got to do something. And she was exasperated. She said, well, if you don't want Robin and you don't want Shamila, who do you want? And I'm like, what I should have said is, are you telling me that you can't find anyone in MSD Integrated Services who isn't a criminal? But I didn't. I did what I've trained myself to do, which is to not obediently answer a question, but to say something that is more relevant and less likely to be a trap or to be, you know, walking into the truth. And I said instead, MSD needs to do an internal review of these women. And I don't think I really said much else about it, but you know, I did say that I am spending so much of my time fighting for my fucking rights that I don't have the capacity to look for a home, but this would be time better spent on looking for a home rather than fighting with MSD for my rights. And in an email that I sent later, because I forwarded her a lot more emails, I actually sent her. They sent her quite a lot of emails just to give her a really good cross-section of what she had not seen between me and Robin, and how Robin would not reply, and saying, look, as I said to her, look, by the time you and the other managers had approached me, had started being copied in, I was not at my best, and nor should I have been at my best. And when people have been persecuted for long enough, they do start to become a bit fucking loopy. And I wasn't being loopy, but I was firing out to everyone because I was really desperate, and you can see how I was crying, and then I'd get drunk, and like these are assaults, these are offences against me. I used to have a drinking problem, and again it's like with Homeward, like these fucking hellhounds are going to start making me rely on alcohol again to soothe myself. That's a very, very serious injury indeed. That is very, very serious. And it's not enough to take your boot off my neck. It's not enough to materially reimburse me for what I haven't managed to apply for because I've been too busy fighting for them. Like, I still haven't got my fucking medical disability allowance review expenses, which haven't changed since 2019 or something. I mean, they have, but they haven't been updated, and they have changed. It's like I also need a hell of a lot of compensation for psychological harm, and that's not a bluff, that's not a let's give it a try, that's a they have injured me and injured me and injured me. Robin is going in for the kill. She's like, Caroline, you just so yeah, I'm not here for it. It's quite spectacular, all dried up like that. Anyway, I'm going to put this on YouTube mostly because of the beauty of my walk, but I also, while I want to give them a chance to do the right thing, I haven't seen them make any use of the chances that I've given them to do the right thing so far. And then back again at myself, well, I still don't want to scupper the opportunity I had with Cara, who may turn out to be quite an honest sort, even if a bit dozy. But I also just think I need to keep what little part of the public I can access informed, and if I am sort of struck down with a blood clot or something, I mean, Done. Or an aneurysm or whatever. I think my phone's battery is suffering. It's really important that this stuff gets out there, not out of there, out there, right? And I've got a lot of RAM problems, and I'm thinking about buying a cheap computer online, because holding things in the cloud is not. I mean, I'm spending a truckload of money on cloud storage because I do need it, but I think it's better that I use power banks, and I'm trying to do that, but that causes RAM problems because you've got to download. As I said, you've got to download before you can save to anything, otherwise you're just saving empty files. So it's a real process, and it's, in a way, it appeals to my problem solving passion. Sorry. It's more fluff. It also is just stuff that I just don't have, the sort of the time for. I'm feeling more relaxed. I'm feeling a lot more relaxed. But I didn't look for the other Caitlin stickers, because here's the Caitlin sticker coming up. That beautiful brown door. Oh, it's like copper. Hi, Caitlin. Sort of Tommy's here today. They smell really lovely. Oh, they're not smelling much at the moment, maybe it's too hot. But it's like 6 o'clock at least now. Yeah, so Tommy, meow meow meow. Yeah, so I've put together a folder for Cara. I recorded it and I did attach to one of the emails that I sent her that there were 2 vocal recordings that I made of our phone conversation, which is perfectly legal, and I'm not sharing them with the public at this stage, although I believe I have every right to. I believe it's official information, and not all official information can just be used willy-nilly. Sometimes it can be disclosed to certain people because there's an element of the Privacy Act in them as well. But this is all about me, and me. I'm trying to back up so I can get me, but it's kind of hard to detach yourself from your shadow. Meow meow Tommy, meow meow meow. Oh, that thing, I'm going to see if that thing is weak enough for me to pull down now. I'm growing in strength. I just keep eating these things and then I take on their power and they can't defeat me. Okay. Right, you think you're tough, huh? What I'm doing is pulling off all the cool leaves, so I'll leave that for someone else to look at. Sunny's fell off. yeah, so I've done, I mean, I look at my Dropbox folder and I just see so many folders started for so many people. Not that Cara is in this category, but so many people who have been, you know, my support, going to be my support person. And I set up this folder so they can self-refer to all this information, and it never comes to anything. And it's just like it's just littered with all these attempts to communicate with people in ways that, you know, I'm an over-communicator. Tommy! But that's who I am, that's what I am. There's got to be room in this world for me. And the only room I'm asking for really is the room to be left alone. You know, I'm not asking for anything special. I do need a house, but and I do need the government to house me. So in a sense that's asking for something positive, and of course to any libertarian that would be like, duh. But the thing is that different libertarians look at contracts in different ways, and even just common law. I don't have to go further than common law. I don't, and I certainly don't really have to go much farther than Tommy. Don't have to go much further than contract law. And there's certainly shitloads of more law than that backs me up. And there's a lot of libertarian principles that back me up. And the Bill of Rights Act is a pretty good libertarian document, and that's basically, as far as New Zealand is a constitution, that's more or less our constitution. It's pretty basic, but you know, we have rights to not be tortured, and I feel at this stage that all I'm asking for the government is just compensation for project managing or otherwise overseeing or standing by to the torture that's been inflicted on me non-stop for 2 years, often by the government itself, but not always. But it's not done its job, and so there's a common law provision that I think it goes a bit beyond the principle of natural justice, but it's not entirely different, but it's simply not fair what's being done to me. To render someone incapable of having a home again, and to threaten them to really threaten that you, their rescuer, will double down on that is perfectly evil. So I don't think I'm asking for anything special. I just don't want to be persecuted anymore. And let's say I was a lefty and I agreed with all of this by principle rather than by, the principle of the social, of extending the commons to personal property. or, you know, the products of someone else's labour. And I always say to people, I really like, you think you agree with Marx that people shouldn't be separated from the fruits of their own labour. Well, what the fuck is tax, man? And why are these people set out to work as cash cows for people who don't work? And I'm not saying those people aren't needy, and I'm not saying they're slackers, but I am saying that you are farming other human beings to provide their rights to them. If anyone has to be farmed for someone else's rights, it means they're a fucking slave. Tommy, and as I've said, because I say lots of things in repetition, I'm totally down with enslaving my fellow citizens to provide me with with my living, at least while I'm trying to get it back on my feet, while people keep kicking me while I'm down. Because the people who kick me when I'm down are the very people who voted in these fucking moronic people who give us these policies. And they're the most abusive abusers that you can come across, really. So yeah, buddy, these fucking evil people can fucking pay my rent for a while. That's right. And I did say in one of my emails, maybe instead of complaining to the police, I should complain to the taxpayers union, because if I'm spending almost all of my time at Alcala Motor Lodge trying to get my rights out of MSD and fending off vicious attacks, that means that MSD many MSD staff are using their tithings, because that's really what they are, public tithings, to bully innocent people. And just fiscally speaking, that's not a good use of Treasury funding allocations. And my brain is so muddled at the moment. That is so cute. My brain is so muddled at the moment that I don't know when our last budget was. I feel like it was really recent, but then I think today is yesterday and tomorrow. But you know, when I talk to people about what's going on with me, and those people are generally, you know, kind of in my boat, they talk about, because, you know, National and Active got back in, which probably means the budget's been quite recent. And they say, oh, you know, they're trying to get rid of the likes of us. And it's like, it just reminds me again of that. I think it might have been Dinesh D'Souza. He's got such a way with words, and I don't think that he's just very particular and precise with his language. I suppose a bit like I am, much less swearing. When he says that, I think it was him, that the left wing want to help poor people, but the right wing want to stop poor people from becoming poor. But then when poor people stop becoming poor, left wing people hate them because they're part of the greedy, evil monster club. It's like, it is literally the witch test. If you rise in the world, you must fall, and only then will you be helped to rise again. I guess we're like human lava lamps. Okay, my phone's going really weird now, so I expect it's gonna like totally bomb out on me in a minute.